Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss tokenized equities coming to Wall Street. We're going to talk about Solana DAT season kicking off with a bang. We've seen a number of these equity companies and digital asset companies pop up. This one has quite the start. We're going to talk about some interesting yield opportunities, points farming, what we're clicking this week, and what we are exploring. GMGM, wonderful weekend in crypto. Thank you all for coming in and tuning in early on a Monday. If you're on Spaces, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a bookmark. If you're feeling extra generous, give us a retweet. Push us out there in the algorithm. Let us know what you want to talk about. If you're on YouTube, give us some comments. Maybe we'll buy some meme coins today. What tickers are you holding? What tickers do you want to shill? I'm joined this wonderful Monday by my friends, my dogs, Signal and Easy. Sig, it's been almost a week now. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, Ray. Honestly, I'm feeling so good. I had the most wonderful weekend touching grass. So one of my friends, his mother is turned 80, and he invited me to her birthday party. And I was like, of course I'm going to come because I love you. So I have to go to your family's birthdays. But I didn't know what to expect. And it turns out that she had flown all the way from Australia over here, had brought 40 friends with her for this party. And this was like the most fun group I have ever met. They were such a hoot, and they had done the most interesting things in their lives, and their partners continue to do. And it was so refreshing because I wasn't talking to anyone about crypto. They were asking me, and the questions they were asking were like, what is crypto? Just tell me in one sentence, what is crypto? And like a lot of them, they like to use the Emperor's New Clothes. They were like, I just believe it's the Emperor's New Clothes where everybody thinks it's a real thing. But I don't believe it is. And so we're having all these like wonderful conversations about what they do and what I do. And the party was really good. And honestly, it was so refreshing to meet a bunch of people who had so much life experience. A lot of them were entrepreneurs or at the top of their field, and they were just so nice and curious about stuff that they did not understand but were open to it. So I had a wonderful weekend touching grass. What did you guys get up to?
Easy, what'd you do? You're still in the kitchen.
Dude, fuck this. I don't know. I didn't do shit this weekend. I got a haircut. Growing a mullet over here. Got a massage yesterday. Got a pedicure. Watched football while they did my feet. It was a day of self-care.
Any golf?
I played Saturday. I played 9. I shot a 46. It was fun.
Hey,
wasn't my best round, but I'm golfing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Was that your first pedicure, Easy?
No.
Oh,
The lady makes me go and get them frequently.
Good. Because then you're not like one of those people. I call it snowing. It's people who don't go and get pedicures, and then when you sit next to them and they're taking off the skin off your foot, all this stuff.
Oh, dude, I got a nasty story. I got a nasty story for you, Sig. I broke my ankle. This was like 10 plus years ago at this point, maybe 11, 12 years ago. And you have to wear a cast, so you can't wash the foot while the cast is on. And the cast is on for like 6 weeks. Like the day after, I showered and then went and got a pedicure to just get rid of all the dead skin. Dude, this woman looked at me like I was the most fucked up human being ever because there was just a mound of dead skin. She was like, I've never seen this before. I was like, yeah, my bad.
I have sat next to people like you, and I have literally gone into my bag, taken out my baseball cap and put it on because the dead skin goes into the air and it just travels across the root. It's so gross. So for a pedicurist to look at your foot, I mean, and they've seen everything, huh? They've seen like fungal bacteria and all that kind of stuff. So for her to look at your foot and be like, oh man, this is bad. You know, you're a memorable client.
Comment in the comments from Just Duck It. Got me excited because I actually hold this bag on XRP. He said, check out the Phoenix. There's a big boom. I opened up my trading bot. The only way I knew how to trade Ledger meme coins, I looked at my bag and it's still down 50% from whenever I bought. So thank you for reminding me about that, Phoenix. Even though it's up, I'm still down bad from wherever I bought. I'm sure I top blasted that during XRP meme coin season almost probably a year ago at this point. We've got a lot to talk about today, though. First, we're going to let you know this show is brought to you in partnership with our good friends over at Gemini. Go to bodogos.com/Gemini to sign up today. You get $50 worth of Bitcoin back when you use our code. Yeah, I mean, we absolutely love Gemini. This card is amazing. I cannot wait to apply. And like when you look at other credit cards, I mean, did you know that your credit card points and miles lose value to inflation when they collect dust? So if you're sitting there on points, you're losing value. And also credit card companies reduce and redemption value of your points and miles over time. Now with the Gemini credit card, you have a credit card that can, with rewards that can grow in value. You get a little Bitcoin, maybe that price goes up, your rewards grow. With the Gemini credit card, you can earn Bitcoin or one of over 50 other cryptos instantly. And there's no annual fee on this card as well. Keep all of your money in your pocket. Sign up now, $50 Bitcoin bonus. Kickstart your rewards. bodogos.com/Gemini today. Easy, do you have this card yet?
No.
Sig, do you have this card?
No.
I need to get this.
I'm not a big credit card guy, dude. I'm not a big credit card guy.
I'm a big credit card guy for getting points.
Yeah, but Ray, my issue is, and I know the Gemini card is amazing because you get the Bitcoin back, and I probably should if I'm going to sign up. My issue is with these credit cards, dude, I love to just swipe them over and over and over and over. So like when you give me a fat balance, I'll buy something dumb, something unnecessary. Like, dude, even yesterday, I have this like long flight to South Korea for KBW. I went out to Best Buy and I bought like a fucking Steam Deck like thing so I can just play video games on a plane for 15 hours. The thing was like $800. Do I need that? No.
Yeah, absolutely you do. You're gonna be doing so much flying. You need it.
I don't need it.
Treat yourself.
I don't know. It's got an 8-hour battery life on one charge. I've been ripping the shit out of Trading Card Game Simulator, the ultimate brain rot game. You don't accomplish anything. There's literally like you don't win the game ever. You just walk around and sell trading cards.
And you get you into
it's the dumbest shit I've ever done, but I love it. I'm hooked.
And you get you into some Magic the Gathering arena and get you in on some TCG action. Go deep into that one. We've got a lot to talk about today, though. Sig, whenever you're ready, let's kick it off a little weather report, and then we'll talk about the big news from today.
Yeah, right. Easy. Let's get into it and I feel like this is the first week back. This is proper first week back for everyone. So it's Monday, September the 8th. Looking at that crypto roundup, the majors, they are up on a day with Bitcoin just under 112K. Ethereum over 4,300. Solana beautiful at 214. And most beautiful of all is Hype is reaching and approaching its all-time new high of just under $51. Over the weekend, top three stories. Well, firstly, the Nasdaq Traded Forward Industries announced a 1.6 billion private placement to form a Solana digital asset treasury company. The placement was led by Jump Crypto, Galaxy Digital, and Multicoin Capital. Forward is up over 100% over the weekend to $33. Next up, the S&P rebalanced on Friday, adding Robinhood, who's been speaking about Robinhood on the show. It's easy. And Apple and app loving. While Strategy qualified to enter the index, it did not make the final cut. Hood is up 8% pre-market to $109, while MSTR is down 2% to $328. And then finally, news broke this morning that the Nasdaq is proposing to allow trading of tokenized stocks directly on their exchange. This would be the first instance of tokenized securities being allowed to trade on a major stock exchange and could go live as soon as Q3 of next year if approved. Exciting stuff happening in crypto, but it is all back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Sig. We have Hype just absolutely cooking right now. Did we just get some news out of Hyperliquid that might have caused this bump? We ran like $1 in the last minute or so. After Sig said we were approaching $51, we just went all the way up to 51.5 now on Hyperliquid, new all-time high.
Beautiful. Finally, now I'm officially out of range and I need to go babysit my liquidity pools during the show. Be right back. But it is beautiful to see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we touch this, retrace a bit, and then just keep chopping a little bit because everything else is kind of chopping. But to see Hyperliquid do this in a very sort of crab sideways market for the time being is a very, very good sign.
Yeah, I ended up buying this about a week ago. I went long on it. I started doing something with my Project X pools too, Sig. Now you mentioned rebalancing. I've been taking I don't want to lose the Hype exposure. So I've been taking all of my yield I've been claiming and just putting it into spot Hype. So I'm letting the LP work itself. And then all the rewards I'm getting, I'm just putting into spot Hype. That way I'm not feeling FOMO on the upside of missing out on Hype if I exit the pools in a situation like this. So that's kind of where I've been going. So I'm holding a bunch of spot Hype, holding a bunch of I think 3x long Hype for the long term as well.
Where do
Love
you
to
think
see this.
hype goes here? Like, I'm curious.
I'm curious what's going to happen with the validator vote on the stable coins. I think maybe that's what's driving this to an extent. So last week they announced USDH. Basically, they're saying, hey, we're minting this stablecoin ticker and we're taking proposals from different people to take over this USDH ticker in a way that's like Hyperliquid aligned. So I think they had a number of different entities come to the table proposing to like steward USDH. So key dates for this, proposals, the deadline for submitting proposals is September 10th. Validators then declare support by September 11th, and on-chain voting will take place September 14th. So September 14th is Sunday. So we're going to see this come out. I believe everyone's like sharing, like doing these proposals like in the Discord. So you have like these funds coming out and like proposing these things, like trying to navigate Discord and get like the proper channels. Like I heard the Modern Market guys talking about this morning. It sounded like an interesting like conundrum going on there. But maybe this is why we're seeing a little bit of movement on the hype side. I know we've been we've been pretty bullish on Hyperliquid outside of this stablecoin venture, but maybe this is causing some extra push.
I think I think the speculation is that if this goes through, it will increase the future buy pressure. So I think this is why we have potentially a little bit of a leg up here happening. But I mean, overall, I think this was going to happen at some point, whether they had this news or not. This was just going to happen at some point. But yeah, I mean, next stop. I don't know where the next stop is for Hyperliquid. I still think we chop, but it's for me. It's an upwards to the right, 100%. I think Easy called. What did you call 150 Easy? Was that it?
150.
150.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is just up and to the right. Like you draw this line, and it's like I don't know if there's a cleaner chart in crypto, especially for something with this market cap. That's crazy. Continuing to be bullish hype, continue to be exposed on hype. Anything to add on the Hyperliquid side, Easy?
No, I mean, I think we go to $60 here sooner than later, personally. Like we're breaking out right now, which looks good. If we look at fibs, honestly, 60 seems basically programmed on this thing. The big thing is this week, theoretically, there's going to be a decent amount of push across the board, like bullish news, I think. Just when you look at Sunday night's comments, there was a lot from the president saying, thinks we'll have a deal on Gaza, surprised on Japanese leaders stepping down, plans to speak to Putin. European leaders are coming to individually to our country on Monday and Tuesday. He's not happy with the Russia-Ukraine situation. So it seems like he's like on this all-out push to get the Gaza ceasefire, get the war in Ukraine to slow. And if so, I mean, that's pretty big. Like all in all, that's a good look for the economy. Uncertainty is bad. Yeah, that's kind of where my head goes. And yet I'm over here gambling on if I think the iPhone 17 Pro will cost more than $1,000 tomorrow.
You're muted, Ray.
Speaking of this week and next week, we have a ton of macro events. I mean, that's great on the war front, but I think a lot of this is going to like potentially like trigger markets. We're gonna have some volatility this week, I believe, unless things just kind of play out as we expect. Tomorrow we're gonna get non-farm payroll revision. If you remember the last time we had one of these revisions, we nuked because it was such a bad revision.
So now that's the thing though, you got to acknowledge, because the last two revisions were so bad. If this one's bad, it's basically like, okay, all rate cuts are guaranteed, but this is now like we're forward looking. September cut is basically priced in. So now we're looking for October and December. So if you get a hefty revision again, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, finish it and then I'll add.
I was saying, so if you get a hefty revision again, then we should honestly, in my opinion, rip, because that now is like, okay, so that means October and December likelihood for a rate cut is very, very high. So that's kind of where my head goes for this. Is bad news is good news in this kind of period, because the September cut is all but guaranteed at the moment. Originally, and I mean, I still have a couple interesting open positions. Like I have 3 Fed rate cuts this year is like a play that I really like. Just because now they're pricing in, do we get 2 cuts? There's a 90% chance for 1 cut on FedWatch, 10% chance for 2 cuts. In October, there's a 72% chance for a second cut, 9% chance or 8% chance for 3 cuts. So that would be 2 in October, 1 in September, and no change at 20. And then December's pricing is at a 67% chance for being down 3 bips, so that means we have a 67% chance for 3 rate cuts I'm in, which is crazy, is Polymarket's giving you 3 rate cuts at 38%. So yeah, I like that play a lot, because that means if FedWatch is giving you the likelihood of it being, which let me just share this so we can get some visuals. You have a 67% chance that we drop down to 350 of 375. We look at September, 90% chance for 1 cut, 10% chance for 2, which means there's no opportunity on the table that the federal government sees for no rate cut in September. October still has us at a 19%, almost 19% for staying flat after 1 cut. 2 cuts sitting at 73%, 8% for a 3rd cut. So 2 cuts in October, 1 cut in September. December, right here, is at 67% that will be up to 3 cuts, which means even if we get 2 in September or October, then maybe we just stay flat for December. Or we get 1 for all 3 of those. With that pricing it in at 67%, and then you look at Polymarket. Polymarket has it at a 38% chance with 41% chance for 2. So honestly, I almost like the 4 and the 3 here more than anything else, because the Fed is right now, without any change, pricing that in.
4's tough because you're going to need a double cut like sooner.
And double cuts almost never happen except for emergency cuts.
Yeah.
So that's why I lean 3, because that would be 1 cut for each month for the next 3 months, which I think kind of is shaping up to be what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Sig.
No, I was going to say, like, when we were talking about this in August, I did not think that, or July, August, I didn't think there was any chance it'd be 3.
So you're real low. Can we turn that up somehow?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I'm coming in so low. Hopefully you can hear me a bit better. I'm like literally kissing the mic here. So
as you eat the mic.
Eating the mic. What was I going to say? Yeah, I didn't think there could be 3, but I definitely do now. Because of the labor data that came in, that's something around like 22,000, only 22,000 jobs have been added recently. There's definitely going to be a cut in September. And it's just a question now of whether it's 25 basis points or 50 basis points. If it's 25, then I'm definitely believing that we're going to have 3 rate cuts. If he comes in at 50, then maybe we have 2 rate cuts for this year. But this week we got a lot of data coming through, which will basically push us between 2 and 3. So to summarize, I'm on the same page as Easy. I don't think there'll be 4, but 3 is a nice number.
Yeah, the one
thing I wanted to show is we have big data points coming this week that are going to affect these numbers like substantially. We talked about the non-farm payroll, but then Wednesday we have PPI and Thursday we have CPI, which are like the main metrics we're going to be looking at for these inflation numbers. So I think we're going to see movement on all of those percentages, both on FedWatch and Polymarket, coming in Wednesday and Thursday.
So the only thing I would add on the inflation front of things, like when J-Hole did his speech, it definitely sounded like he was more concerned about the labor market than he actually was about inflation, because he believes that inflation is transitory. And so if inflation is transitory and there's still potentially going to be creeping forward towards that 2% target, I think the inflation side of the economy is fine, but what they're really looking at is the labor market. So I feel like that will be the signal for whether we get big rate cuts or if we get just 25 basis points. But let's see. It's setting up to be an interesting September. I don't know why everyone is so bearish on the timeline. There's a lot of bearish sentiment on the timeline, which I'm just completely ignoring because we've been holding beautifully. Like, if this is bear and we're at 110, Hyperliquid at 51, Solana at 214, happy days.
Yeah, absolutely. FOMC is next Wednesday. We'll be getting that decision. So I'm not sure if the CPI and
Everyone's
PPI
looking at the minutes more than anything else now. They're curious what the comments are going to be.
Yeah. Because he'll signal like we're going to keep cutting, or like we think this is enough and it's wait and see. So like that's going to be the big thing next weekend. Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested Wednesday and Thursday on the economic data, just because like 10% for 2 cuts, if they both come in under estimates, and it looks like inflation is cooling, like maybe we do get that jumbo cut. Like who knows? Like if it's enough time 1 week to push them more towards that side, would be awesome. Other news today, we've covered this one pretty well. Let's look at this Ford ticker. Solana digital asset treasury company talked about this $1.65 billion raise with some big names in Jump Crypto, Galaxy, Multicoin. After the news, this is now trading 2x, this Ford ticker on the Nasdaq, Forward Industries, at $32. This is the biggest pre-market jump I think we've seen from one of these major asset companies lately. 1.65 billion is going to put them squarely in the lead in terms of Solana treasuries. do we think we see more of these? And B, Solana versus ETH from here. Like, what do you think about Sol ETH? Easy. Like, do we think this flips the script, continues to outperform?
I
You have
do.
Clemente's red line here, which is the where he said, I think it's getting worse.
Who said that? Clemente?
Clemente said yes. So why would I buy Sol
10K challenge, by the way? It's so
where are you
funny,
guys at?
dude.
Where are you guys at now?
I'm fucking smoking everybody, Sig. Absolutely torching everybody. Ends tomorrow.
I should have put a bet on Polymarket for this.
Absolutely.
I'm so stupid.
I'm even torching Bitcoin.
I said you.
I'm even torching Bitcoin.
Oh,
so
nice.
I don't know. Everyone was yapping, but I'm over here up almost 7K on Bitcoin if you just bought these alts. What's funny too is Litecoin was like the worst pick out of it, but Hype, Pump, Link. I even think Athena is going to end up being a pretty substantial gain. They just announced another huge raise and they're buying millions of dollars every single day. So it's like Athena keeps raising money to buy back. It's like they're doing MicroStrategy just on their own chain. Like they're just buying the tokens back by raising capital. So Athena's also a bet on stablecoins like issuance, which I'm a big fan of. The only thing that was a bad pick here was Litecoin. And that was purely because like I felt Litecoin could end up running just purely on the back of like alts in general. But yeah, Clemente's getting fucking smoked. Dude's down 42%. Like, peace, kid.
Oh man, yeah, he's in some trouble here. You got some pretty bad laws. God down 50%, Docker down over 50%, nothing in the green. Troll's the closest thing, and that's basically almost break even, still down. Pretty wild. Wolfie says up $700 after 21 days. After look at the last 21 days overall. We basically like bought the Pico top of a lot of these, and like it took Hype hitting a new all-time high to essentially put Easy back in the green. So like Easy out traded like a like quote unquote mini bear here during like a pullback during the bull, and is still up money, which is pretty.
I'm
crazy.
outpacing Bitcoin.
Yeah,
like the standard, what it is you want to outpace. I'm outpacing Bitcoin by almost $7,000.
$700, but
$700,
or $1,000,
$700, $700,
$1,300.
Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. My math is bad.
We don't
I'm
do
still
math
cooking
on the show.
Bitcoin.
We don't do math on the show.
I'm cooking Bitcoin. That's all. If you can beat Bitcoin on any time frame, it's good.
Yeah. You're talking about stablecoin yield. I've got a new play that I read about.
Okay.
And I looked at here. Have you heard of USD.AI?
No.
Okay. So I saw this in a newsletter over the weekend from Parsec. They put out some good stuff. This is AI infrastructure backed stablecoin. So normal stablecoins are backed by Treasury bills. And this is going to be backed by GPUs, essentially. And they're going to be loaning them out to companies that need to scale in AI sector. And those loans are where the yield's coming from. So instead of a traditional T-bill backed stablecoin, this is a collateralized GPU stablecoin, which is interesting. Backed by YZI Labs and Plasma. If you're familiar, Plasma was the Tether stablecoin chain that raised a lot of money. They're going to be launching on Plasma as well. I need to dive into this deeper, but I like this mainly because I think that we're going to see potentially a run on alternate like investment-backed stablecoins because of rate cuts. As we're getting these rate cuts, it's going to cut into the operating margin of these stablecoin companies. So you could see like potentially lower yield on traditional stablecoins. So this is early stages. I just found it. I just wanted to surface it for the audience. I jumped in and participated. They have an airdrop. They have an ICO, and basically buying the USD.AI token in different forms, whether it's just the straight token, staking it, doing yield tokens on Pendle. There's a bunch of different opportunities and strategies on this one that you'll want to do some like due diligence on to either be eligible for an airdrop or an ICO allocation to this. So this seemed like a way to get some sort of stablecoin exposure, like forward-looking stablecoin exposure, and then something in a semi-different category than what's currently out there. So the site for this is USD.AI. If you're in the Bodoggos Discord, I shared a little bit of information last night. I did some ChatGPT deeper research on it to get kind of a TLDR. Hit me up there if you have any questions. I'll let you know like what I did strategy-wise and what I think the opportunity is. But I just wanted to surface that one as kind of like an opportunity for stablecoin yield and stablecoin exposure going forward.
Wait, Ray, can you just go back there? So they have GPUs which they lend out to companies. Can you just go over again how this works, the beginning part?
Absolutely. Yeah, so a normal stable coin is backed by Treasury bills that basically peg it to $1 and they earn yield over time. The collateral for it, so like if you have $1 million worth of USDC, you're holding $1 million plus of Treasury bills. You basically over collateralize the stable coin to make sure it pegs. With this, they basically over collateralize the stable coin, but they use a combination of T-bills at a lower percentage, and the majority being essentially GPUs. So they're collateralizing it with GPUs. So they're saying like the commodity that's backing the stable coin is AI compute. And what they're doing is they're lending these GPUs out to people who want to scale in the AI industry, but they can't afford to like through traditional finance means. So like they can basically like within a couple days be able to take out a loan and get AI compute via this platform. And then on their side, you can kind of see like who currently has out loans. Like what, like this has like $950,000 worth of RTX 5090s. That this company has $2.5 million worth of NVIDIA B200s. So you can see like what loans are currently out there. And then basically the APY on these loans is funding the yield on the protocol.
Gotcha. Okay. I like it. I like it as a concept. The only thing I don't kind of like is them calling it a stable coin, because I feel as if we have come to understand what a stable coin is in the sense of when like we're talking about Circle, Tether, etc., and people understand this being backed by T-bills. I just think here when it starts to be backed by other assets and there's diversification across those assets, the idea of it being stable, let's just say like quote unquote stable, kind of goes out the window a little bit. It's sort of like with mortgage-backed securities as they became, it just reminds you of like mortgage-backed securities, not in a sense that it's a scam, like no, but just like understanding what is actually being collateralized behind the scenes so that people don't think it's a vanilla stablecoin. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking. I wouldn't call this a vanilla stablecoin. I would call this an exotic stablecoin.
Yeah, I'm treating this not as like
the skirt.
Yeah, you know? I'm not treating this as a like stable, like a safe, like I'm parking money here that I'm going to need access to. It's more of like I want stablecoin market exposure and I'm taking a risk to get it. Like this is definitely high risk. Like I wouldn't even put this in the same risk category as normal stablecoins. It's more like getting when I'm talking about excitement as a stablecoin, it's more of exposure to an emerging stablecoin market. Like I think with this, I can get exposure to the underlying token when they launch that might be valuable. Like I'm using it as like basically a farming play. And Bishop brings up a good call. Like there are risks with this. Like you're counting on physical AI chips that are being bought that are eventually going to go like depreciate. So there are definitely issues with this model. I just found it very interesting. And like if they scale, they find a way to kind of mitigate the risks. Like AI compute right now, it just seems like it's going to be very necessary for at least the midterm future. So a different kind of backing for stablecoins is interesting to me, and then getting early exposure to this play was kind of my thought process here.
And so, how are you? So, just going back, so how are you exposed to this now? So, have you just like deposited a bunch of money with them, and then it's just sitting there? Like, could you just break down how do you get your return over time?
Yeah, so I'm going for the ICO. So it's like gamified how you're eventually going to get like you can either get airdrop or ICO, and basically it depends on like what assets you own. I'm currently more aligned towards the ICO side. And to do this, I essentially bought, like right now, you can't even mint the token because they've reached their deposit cap. You can keep an eye out for that. But what I did is I bought USD.AI on Arbitrum, and then I used that to swap into this YT USD.AI, which is the yield token on Pendle. And this gives you like kind of like the biggest boost on their like earn system. So like this is like I'm not earning yield on this. Like I'm literally just like buying this and holding it to earn allocation to their ICO. And there's different ways you can play this. There's like a lot of different ways you can instead go towards the airdrop, or you earn yield while you're doing it. Like there's a lot of different ways to go into it. And like I said, if you want to hop into Bodalgo's Discord, anyone listening and like get some more information, I can definitely walk you through like what's available. And again, like this isn't like a park your free money stable coins in here. I'm using it as like a means to farm like future airdrop / ICO allocation.
I like it. I'm going to look into it more. I think all these kind of opportunities are just going to have to kind of assess them, but they come up from time to time, and you don't want to be sitting there 6 months later and be like, oh, why didn't I, put in anything, not even like, a small play, when it turns out to be, significant. And I think a lot of people just saw what happened with WLFI. So you know what? I'll take a shot. Why not?
Yep, that's exactly what I said. Took a small shot on gold there. I mean, it sounded interesting to me. What else do we have today? S&P 500, big win, easy. Robinhood listed on the S&P for you. We saw Hood move up over the weekend. MicroStrategy snubbed. I saw Pio pop on the show real quick and just disappear. I don't know if he had something to say, if it was going to be MicroStrategy related or open related, but we have Robinhood gapping up on the daily here. $113. All-time high is at 117. New all-time high this week? First week in the S&P?
It should. On average, stocks that get added move up 18%. So that would put us 18% over 105 would put us at like 124.
Love it. That sounds great to me. Love to see this win. If you're in the YouTube comments, who's still holding Robinhood from Easy's call? I'd love to.
Still holding. So I actually sent a little DM to Easy to say thank you for this play, because it's just been so beautiful to watch. And I had literally sold just like a partial amount of my MicroStrategy, like probably 5 to 7 days before this announcement came. So I'm just like, just got skin of my teeth.
120 gives us a 4x, by the way.
Easy.
4x is what we'll get at 120. We got in near 30. So I would not be mad about it in the slightest. Would not. We timed that tariff dip beautifully on this thing. Like, could not be mad about it at all.
Where do we go from here, Easy?
Up and to the right. I've been dead set on 200 and split for like since my first. I was like, it goes to 200, then they split. That's where my head's been for a very long time, because Robinhood's a retail-based app, right? So like, Vlad is conscious of the retail investor, and at $200, you start to price yourself out from the retail pockets of buying stocks, buying equities. So when you hit 200, do a 4-to-1 stock split, drop it back down to $50. Do a 5-to-1 stock split, drop it down to what, $40, and let the market readjust the pricing. So that's kind of where my hope is. Maybe he lets it go higher. Maybe it runs to 300-400. Who knows? But I think Robinhood up and to the right for the inevitable future. I mean, I'm excited for their Q2 earnings personally. I want to see how much of their revenue is being generated from their Kalshi partnership. The prediction market side of things is very interesting to me. You even heard Clemente. Clemente's like, dude, Robinhood fucking got me. I put $500 on tennis. I don't bet sports. He's like, but they made it seem like it was investing. He's like, God damn it. Like, that money was for Bitcoin. And I hammered this guy on tennis and lost. So like, they have the best UI. What's funny is I'm a massive, massive equity holder of Robinhood. Like, it is by far my largest position in all my brokerage accounts. I'm banned from the platform. I cannot use the platform.
When you haven't gotten
my ban lifted. So yeah, it's funny that I'm such a big Robinhood bull and I can't even use the fucking thing.
What's interesting is that even though MicroStrategy didn't get in this time, I do remember from their previous earnings call, Saylor on the call, he was saying that he thinks that the analysts struggle to value strategy in the fact that they struggle to analyze strategy as a treasury company because they can't treat it like a normal stock. So they are
it's the tail end risk of it is the bigger thing. So it's like they view it as an inherent risk because of the constant borrowing against in dilution of shares, which there's no other company in the S&P 500 that has that. I do think MicroStrategy will get added.
I do as well.
I don't know when, but I think it's a matter of when, not if.
I think 12 months from now they will be in the S&P. I really do think because I think there'll be a lot of pressure because they're not the only company doing it now, and so more and more companies who are successful and have strong revenues will eventually just kind of all tides come together, pushing all boats up. That's the scenario I think we're going to. So it was first try, they failed, but they'll come back. So I still think there's a possibility there.
Speaking of Clemente and gambling on tennis, are you gonna have a word with him after this the Sinner Alcaraz debacle?
Dude, so I sold my shares.
You did?
So I
Let's
sold
go.
my shares for a small profit, and I got hit up by the Kalshi team because as the #1 mind share account for prediction markets, they're all in my inbox now. Every single one of them. Polymarkets asked that I stop fudding them, which, listen, maybe get rid of fucking Uma and I'll stop fudding you. But the thing that's interesting is Kalshi had a live line for Alcatraz, whatever the fuck his name is, to win. And it was at like 65 cents. And he had already taken a set from Sinner. He had already won on one of Sinner's serves. So I was like, okay, this is mispriced. Normally when a player wins on the opposing serve, now they have the lead. And it was like 2 sets left at 65 cents. So I just hammered it, like absolutely hammered the live line. Because I looked at like a couple sports books I still have. I haven't traded like gambled sports in a long time. So yeah, I got in on that Alcaraz that as it flipped. So where that flip happened, right around there, like 63 cents. Because I was like, okay, this flip is serious. He finally just took a set from Sinner. That usually means there's a good chance he wins. The sports books were already pricing him at like an 85% chance to win, and Kalshi only had it at a 65% chance. So there's a 20% edge that you had taking a live line here. And that's the interesting thing with peer-to-peer markets. Like, dude, yesterday, I think I made like $600 or $700 on football yesterday on Kalshi, just purely off mispriced lines and like stale order book flow. Just having the live lines up, just like hammering it. Yeah, I made $723 yesterday. And I'm still waiting for these other 2 plays to conclude, which was advertising, which brands would advertise. I took no on Pepsi and no on Gatorade to do an ad during Red Zone, and neither of them did.
I had Red Zone up. I didn't catch any ads, but I was kind of half watching, getting the house ready. Look at this Monday Night Football, Minnesota, Chicago, $2.2 million in volume so far. I think last night's game had like over like $20 million worth of volume on it, which is crazy. Awesome game last night. Ravens and Bills ended up going down to the wire. We're seeing more and more football on here. I kind of want to make something easy. Like we'll talk about this later. I want to vibe code something that just like pulls like lines, like live lines from books.
So sportsbook APIs are all public, first and foremost.
Right,
You can get the APIs. So you can find, there's a few platforms that have it. And the thing is, there is a lot of ARB bots that are running on Polymarket and Myriad because a lot of that's on chain. Because Kalshi is still not technically on chain, those ones have like stale lines that last a little bit longer.
Yeah. So my thought process was like basically just you're ingesting all of this and then it's saying like, okay, now you have a mispriced line. Take Minnesota here. Essentially, when like when the spread on those,
and you can exit pretty quickly too, which I like. Like it's not like these markets are illiquid. That's the best part. Like, dude, yesterday they had over $50 million in across 5 games on the 1 p.m. slate. So like, there's deep order book liquidity on a lot of this stuff, which is why it makes it fun. One sec, someone's here.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the game from last night. Almost $36 million worth of volume on this one from last night. That's crazy numbers. We're seeing prediction markets absolutely go nuts. I have like a group of friends who are very much so gamblers, sports gamblers, and like are on the sharper side of like sports gambling. They're not people who are just like, oh, I'm throwing money out here because I feel like it. They look for like inefficiencies. They look at all this other stuff as well. And I need to get them on these prediction markets and see like what they can do, because they're the kind of people who like look at like mispriced parlays. They look at like for any small edge they can find. And if there's big edge on these prediction markets, like they would be able to like sniff it out immediately and kind of let me know. So I'm going to be talking to some of my friends over the course of the next
I'm shaping up for a huge September for my prediction market plays here. Huge September.
What are you at? What's going on?
I'm heavy on Eric Adams not dropping out this month. Like very heavy on it. You can basically look at the data for the last time a New York City mayor dropped out after starting the re-election campaign. It's only happened 3 times in history: 1973, 1964, and 1952. The only 3 times in history it's ever happened. It's never happened post-internet age. Eric Adams also came out 3 days ago now, the 5th, and stated he will not be dropping out. He's also combating the Polymarket odds pretty verbally, saying just because Polymarket has me low does not mean I'm not going to win. And he's like posting screenshots. He's arguing with a few individuals there too. I believe the person, Bill Ackman, I want to say, was the one who was asking for him to drop out and back Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo. Cuomo, whatever the fuck his name is. Agnew was pretty aggressive in telling him to drop out, which I thought was very interesting, because then what happened was Eric Adams quote tweeted that, was like, yeah, no, I don't give a shit. I'm not dropping out. And that to me was a good sign. So I'm a fan of it. Yeah. If the polls and poly markets were wrong during the primary, why do we believe they are right now? So I'm a big fan of seeing messages like that, like this, because this is good for my bags. If the polls and poly markets were wrong during the primary, why do we believe they are right now? So Eric Adams has been aggressive on saying he's not going to drop out. He did this, said he's a snake and a liar. I'm in the race and I'm the only one that can beat Mamdani, which gives us some good odds here. This has obviously started shifting more and more towards the no as it gets closer. I've outlined a few strategies I've had on time decay markets, which basically means as it progresses closer to the resolution date, the odds increase. So with each day, we should theoretically see this approach 99, and the same thing here. So I got in at 68 and 88. And that's the other thing that I think a lot of people got to look at here is like, with these markets, it doesn't have to be like a crazy gain, right? Like you don't need an insane profit on these markets to make money, which is why I'm a big fan of them. But yeah, I'm pretty heavy on those. And then obviously tomorrow we have the iPhone situation that's supposed to come out, and speculation right now of Korea, quote, accidentally sharing the pricing for this iPhone thing. So iPhone 17 being more, that's now leaning real heavy on the no. I think I got in closer to like 44 cents, which was great. So I'm up almost 100% on that, which is
So
awesome.
you're on
to
the
see.
no. You're on the no.
I'm
It
on the
won't
no.
cost more. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm on the no at
Why are
44
you on
cents.
no?
I don't think the iPhone 17 costs more than the 16. I think it comes out at the same price, because my whole thesis was the Google Pixel released late August for $799, despite tariffs. So in order for Apple to stay competitive pricing wise, their base model has to be the same price. The market that I found more interesting was iPhone 17 Pro. Will it cost more than $1,000? This market has less liquidity. It's only about $11,000. So it's substantially less liquidity, but I like bids on this around 24, 25 cents. I'm in for a small position at 24 right now. I want to hopefully get filled more at 25. I don't know if I will, because pictures dropped from Korea, where if you look at
This one here. Am I looking at this right?
Yep. Yeah. So the one that's actually currently dropping.
So you want to trade no?
I like the no because of this that came out. The 17 priced is the same price as before. The 17 Air is slightly more, which I'm actually interested in that iPhone because I love my MacBook Air. And then the Pro came out the same as the 16 at $999. The larger models are obviously more, but it's all based on the base model.
Yeah, let's look at the resolution. Lower price, the lowest price
Yep.
of this full standard iPhone 17 Pro model. So base.
Yep. Yeah. So I lean that. It's largely, many people thought that we would get a price increase because of tariffs. I don't think so. I think that Apple will still stay competitive, especially with their large move for factory and infrastructure into India, which a surprise tariff came, but production on those has already been in works for X amount of time. So that's kind of why I'm leaning. We have the event tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so I'll be closely watching that. But if that hits, I'll be happy. It's a 4x, 250 to win 1,000, 3x, whatever it is. You make 750 on it. So I'm very, very excited about that. And then obviously Eric Adams. Those are kind of my big plays. I'm holding a Fed rate cut, 3 cuts for this year. And then I don't think Gemini 3.0 will be released by the end of October, which is another time-based market.
How are you trading the 3 cuts into this week's data? Like, would you be looking at that?
Yeah. Yep. So if we get like a nice move on it, I mean, 3 cuts has already ran from 22 up to 40, and it's currently sitting at 39. I'm in right around these prices. So I didn't get like a great entry. I did it right after we got the soft confirmation that we'd get 1 cut. Just because when I started looking at the data, I was like, okay, this feels like this ends up flipping and we move up closer to 50, which would be like a 33% increase, which I'm fine with. Like, we get higher on that, we end up getting a cut. I'm very interested in those markets.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much of like if we do like see a cut this month, or we do see data this week, seeing 3 flip 2, how much of that percentage is it going to eat away? Will it get all the way up to 50? Who knows? Yeah, I like that too. I mean, three makes sense. Anything else on the prediction market side that's interesting for you right now?
Mostly these. I mean, I've been on all three of them. I've been really liking Myriad for some of these like alt markets. Also, turns out I'm kind of pissed. Lady Gaga did not sing in the episode, but they played her music video. So I ended up losing on the technicality. So that hurts. But I mean, that account's still up 2K, 1.9K on my $2,500 initial. So I'm not mad about that. I caught the cards pump to 30 cents, which is like a nice trade on crypto markets. But yeah, the Lady Gaga one kind of fucked me. I like this open-ended market that they have that's just called up or down. It's open for until infinity. There's no resolution date on it at all ever. And
That's
it's
like a
just
meme
purely
coin.
a sentiment market.
Up or down. No trading fees. Trading only and will never be resolved towards either option. Proceed at your own risk.
So
Up or down.
I wanted to ask on the sports side of things, easy on the sports side of things, are people moving from gambling sites to prediction markets because the sport, on the sports side of things, there are greater inefficiencies?
To some extent.
There's also a rake whenever you're
Yeah,
betting
there's
on
a
the
house rake.
Yeah. So you do pay fees on prediction markets, but like if you get an order books, you can like kind of like bid where you want to bid on some of these and maybe get a better price than you would on a traditional sports book. Also,
Okay.
you won't get limited. Like if you're a very sharp bettor, you get limited on sports books. Like they see that you're a winning bettor and they limit the amount of money you can put down on any like, given game. They might say, oh, you can't even bet props anymore. So like I've had friends who like get cut from sports books because like they make too many profitable plays. So prediction markets, the platform's not going to block you because they don't care how good you are or how bad you are. All volume is volume to them.
It's peer to peer. That's the
Yeah,
difference on the
exactly.
prediction market. It's peer to peer. So the house is not the one that loses money on a big win. It's another user. When you have sports books, if you end up hitting like a crazy parlay that pays you out 200 grand, the sports book is the one who loses. That's the major
Yep.
difference. So they'll limit the account. There's people who get limited to like $20 bet sizes. So that's the main thing. Yeah, don't offer full cash value on cash outs. That's the other thing. So like prediction markets, because it's me versus you and not you versus the house, you end up being able to take any size at any time because of the order books. So that's where like you have a lot of opportunity.
Yep. Yeah, you normally get like, so if you're betting on a sports game, you will get like payout offers from like a DraftKings. Like you bet the Titans and they're up big. They'll give you a payout offer, but it's not like fair market value for that payout to hit. Whereas if you're on a prediction market, it's gonna be much closer to fair market value.
Gotcha. So basically, would you say for the sports side of things, over time, you just see that entire market like just migrating over to prediction markets because of the model?
I think that people, if they are properly educated, will make the shift to a market that has better incentives for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I think there's a little bit more
super
friction,
interesting.
like with a prediction market, than there is just placing a bet. Like the process of doing it, like figuring out if you're bidding, if you're market buying, etc. Like you're not just like, I'm taking the Chiefs -3. You're like, all right, I'm gonna take the Chiefs with the line, and I'm gonna look at what the price options are here. Is it 49 cents? Is it 50 cents? Like, where do I feel comfortable taking this line? And then like you either like, do I market buy it at 51 cents? Do I put a bid in at 49? So it's not like the same process, and there's a little more friction on the purchase that like I think that's enough to like deter some people. But I think with a proper education, they'll see, okay, this is an opportunity to like increase my gains in the gambling space if I'm somebody who's good at it.
And sorry, and just the last question is, and easy on Robinhood, is it sports prediction market or is it traditional gambling?
Prediction markets. So it's peer to peer. So they partner with
Gotcha,
Kalshi.
okay.
So they're using the Kalshi API integrated into the app. So you're getting a peer to peer market, which is there's also some speculation on if Kalshi gets in trouble for this because Kalshi is calling it a financial market and not a gambling market because it's peer to peer. So normally you need a sports gambling license to offer this in all 50 states. Because Kalshi has the financial markets for all 50 states, they're able to offer this. So there is some worry about how long this will last. Will it last? What's the play? All this stuff. It'll be interesting to see though. But for now, I think there's an edge that you can capture on a lot of this stuff. And that for me is why I'm way more interested in it.
I'm interested in it because you're going to have much more opportunities like this. You talked about this earlier. This is Clemente.
I am the biggest dumbass in the world, and I actually think I have a gambling problem. I was sitting here making my lunch, which is cooking over there, and I had Robinhood open. And I was watching the U.S. Open. I was checking on Robinhood, and then I go, oh, Robinhood has prediction markets open. What's the U.S. Open odds? I put $500 on Alex Deminar winning. And he just lost.
And he just lost. It's so good. This is why I think these things are interesting. When you have people with capital on a platform like Robinhood and they see these options just to like, oh, I can open up my phone and bet on anything, they're gonna take it. It's the absolute the biggest bull case, I think, in my opinion. We're coming up on time right now. Is there anything else you guys want to chat about before we wrap today?
No, man. I'm good.
Nice. We'll let you get to rebalancing your Hyperliquid LPs, Sig. Ease will get you back to the prediction market trenches. Are going to need you in there grinding, finding all the edges. Thank you all for listening. It's been a wonderful Monday after a weekend off. Crypto's up. Prices are up. Gotta love it. You can catch us Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. All major podcasting platforms we're on. We're on Spotify, Apple. You can watch us back on YouTube. See what we're talking about in real time.